There was a time when Earth did not belong to a single human species alone. We walked paths carved by the sweat and blood of many others. Long before our cities rose, dozens of other human species roamed these lands, exploring the unknown and fighting to survive in a world that was unforgiving. But today, those ancient echoes have faded into a haunting silence. We are left to wonder why we are the only ones still standing here today. Have you ever paused to ask yourself why only our kind remains to tell this story? Why did we survive while our siblings vanished into the void? We look at the stars and feel a deep sense of isolation, a primal loneliness that stems from being the last survivors of a once crowded family. Beneath our feet lies a vast, silent graveyard. It is a record of failed attempts, tragic ends, and the many ways to be human on Earth. The silence of the past is not empty. It is a heavy presence, a warning from those who came before us and eventually lost their final battle. Every corner of this planet serves as a massive cemetery. We walk upon the ground that holds the memories of entirely different ways of existing. This is not just earth and stone. It is the physical remains of unique experiences and distinct histories that once burned brightly across every continent. They were not mere drafts or biological failures. They were real people with complex cultures, languages, and deep emotional lives that we are only now uncovering. She cared for her young and mourned her dead. Her heart beat with the same fears and hopes that define our own humanity in the modern age. But time is a cruel judge. Her lineage ended in the cold, leaving behind nothing but bones and a few stone tools for us to find. Think of the broken civilizations and the lost knowledge. Every tool buried in the mud represents a dream that was cut short by the passage of time. In the remote reaches of Asia, the Denisovans adapted to high altitudes and extreme cold, carving out a life where others would have surely perished instantly. They are not entirely gone. A small part of them lives on in our DNA, a ghostly reminder of an ancient union in a forgotten world. Life was a constant struggle for every species. The world was a beautiful, terrifying stage where the price of a single mistake was total extinction. They loved each other, they protected their tribes, and they looked at the moon with the same wonder that we feel when we look up today. Their art and their symbols were the first whispers of the human spirit. Yet, those whispers were eventually drowned out by the rising tides of history. We walk upon a foundation of ghosts. Each layer of the earth is a page from a book that has been mostly burned and lost forever. We seek to understand them, not as inferior ancestors, but as equals who simply ran out of time in the great race of survival on Earth. We love to believe we are the peak of a ladder, the inevitable result of perfection. But evolution is not a straight line going upward. It is a complex, tangled bush of life. Most of its branches have withered and broken off, leaving us as the only surviving sprout on a dying tree. Science shows us that we weren't necessarily the smartest or the strongest. Neanderthals had larger brains and muscles that far surpassed our own physical capabilities. Perhaps we were just luckier, or perhaps our social structures were slightly more flexible. We found a way through the maze while they were trapped. Evolution is a game of chance as much as it is a game of skill. We are the survivors of a lottery we didn't even know we entered. When you look in the mirror, you see the face of the winner. But hidden in your features are the echoes of those who didn't make it. Time does not care about our sense of superiority. It has seen countless masterpieces of nature rise and fall within the blink of a cosmic eye. We stumbled upon the exit of the survival maze by sheer coincidence, while our talented brothers were left in the eternal darkness of the past. The environment changed, the rules shifted, and suddenly the traits that made them strong became the very things that led to their ultimate demise. We are not the chosen ones. We are the lucky ones. Our existence is a fragile miracle built on the ruins of dozens of other human experiments. To ignore our brothers is to ignore the reality of our own nature. We are part of a story that is much larger than our own success. On the isolated island of Flores, tiny humans lived in a world of giants and miniatures. They were a testament to the incredible diversity of man. They survived for thousands of years in their own paradise, only to vanish, leaving us with more questions than answers about their unique way of life. In the cold north, others braved the ice and snow, developing a resilience that we can only dream of in our temperature-controlled world of today. They were not just statistics in a textbook. They felt the sting of loss and the warmth of a sun-drenched afternoon just as vividly as we do. Every species that went extinct was a library of survival knowledge that burned down. We lost their songs, their stories, and their unique perspectives on existence. They were our kin, our rivals, and our teachers. Our history is a shared one, even if we are the only ones left to remember it. We reached for them through the fog of time, but the gap is too wide. Their voices are now just whispers in the wind of history. The flame of their existence was extinguished, not because they were weak, but because the storm of destiny was simply too strong for them to endure. We carry the weight of their absence. Our triumph is bittersweet, because it means the world is now a much lonelier place for our kind. They left their marks, hoping to be remembered. It is our duty to look back and recognize the value of the lives they lived so bravely. The graveyard of humanity is wide and deep. To walk through it is to realize how close we all came to never existing at all. We are not the crown of creation. We are the loneliest branch on a tree that has lost almost everything else to the cold winter of time. This loneliness is not a badge of honor. It is a profound burden. We are the guardians of a legacy we barely even understand today. Our great cities and technologies are just a brief flicker in the long night of history. We are as vulnerable as those who came before. We stand on the shoulders of giants who fell. Their struggle bought us the time we needed to become who we are in the present. Our survival is a fragile pulse in a universe of silence. Every beat is a gift, a reminder that we are still here, still breathing. We carry their voices in our hearts. We are the eyes through which the ancestors can finally see the world they once inhabited so briefly. To be the last of a kind is a heavy fate. It requires us to be more than just survivors. It requires us to be witnesses. We are connected by a thread of life that has almost been snapped 1,000 times. That connection is our most precious and sacred inheritance. We are the only ones left to look at the stars and ask, why? We speak for all the silent ones who never got the chance. Our existence is a solitary note in a vast symphony that has mostly gone silent. We must play our part with care and deep respect. Extinction does not just happen to the weak. It happens to the isolated, the unlucky, and those who believe they are invincible in their power. If we are not careful, we will find ourselves following the same path into the shadows. Nature does not grant us any special permanent immunity. The warnings are all around us, written in the dust of the extinct. They tell us that adaptation is the only way to avoid the end. We must listen to the silence of our fallen brothers. Their end was a lesson that we are currently in the process of failing to learn. The future is not guaranteed. We are merely the current actors on a stage that has seen many lead roles come and go before us. History is a cycle of life and death. To survive, we must learn to be humble and respect the forces that govern our very fragile existence. Extinction selects those who fail to adapt. Do not be fooled by your own success. The graveyard always has room for more arrogant souls. Listen closely to the echoes of the past, because the next silence in the great library of life might just be our own final story.